Hello and welcome. My name is Jo Quincy of Zentangle, and today I'm going to show you the tangle Tripoli. Very simple tangle, but it has lots of variations and possibilities. I've got a pencil, a Zentangle pencil. It's a 2B graphite, a Tortillon for blending, and I'm going to use a Micron 05 in black. You can use whichever pen that you would like to use. Okay, so Tripoli tree is TRI is 3, and we're going to draw a three-sided shape. And I know what you're all going to say. You're going to say, that's a triangle. Yes, it is, but actually we don't want to go for perfect triangles, so we draw one and then we draw another. So the way to do these, and all the time I'm turning my tile, is when you've done one, you're going to mirror or aura that side, and then you can make this as wide or as narrow as you like. They don't have to be all the same size. Turn your tile and you're going to draw another. It doesn't matter how many of these you have in your selection, as in how many are we going to do. So yeah, I'm doing this in a sort of roundish sequence, but it doesn't have to be. Funnily enough, it will always work out that you have that sort of round sort of image to start with. So you've got those. We're going to fill these with Tripoli shapes. So I'm going to aura this one, and now I know that I'm going to come to about here, so I can draw my triangle. You don't have to worry about any of the others, so you simply add another aura, and you're going to make this one's a little bit wider, into a triangle. You can aura this one, and you simply start or continue to add these three-sided triangular, yes, shapes, and you can vary what it looks like by varying the width or the size of these shapes. It really is up to how you feel. Now, don't draw these too small. I'll be honest, when I first drew Tripoli, oh my gosh, I mean, I was using a 01 pen, which is great, but I went so small, and it makes your eyes go funny. So whenever you're tangling, always think about tangling a little bit bigger than maybe you think you need to on a piece of paper. If you're using a tile, 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches square, it feels like a small piece of paper, but you don't have to tangle small. You can tangle actually quite large and still have a wonderful image. In fact, I would say that you probably get a more satisfying image if you've created a larger tangle. And this is because it's not too busy, you haven't got too much going on. So can you see what's happening? If you can look at a centre here where all the points are going in, and you've got that, but then if you come here, these ones make the beginning of this one and this one. So it is a fantastic tangle for building up and creating. It's a wonderful filler. So you just, and by filler I mean you can fill a space. What I want to show you in most of these set of videos is you don't have to add hundreds of tangles. You don't have to create or put in lots and lots of tangles. You can do a mono-tangle like we're doing here, and that's a mono is one tangle, and you get a lot of satisfaction from doing a mono-tangle because you don't have to think, you know, this is all we're going to be doing. Well, we will be doing something else with this, but you can see how these all go together, and I haven't worried about how many there are. Like there are 5 triangles in this, there are 6 in this. It doesn't matter, they all go together. So as you're doing these, as you're drawing these, I want you to really focus on your pen lines. So slow it down, really think about, oh, that's my pen, there's the ink leaving my pen, and I'm drawing this line. It's about the process. The Zentangle method allows you to create and enjoy that process without really worrying. I'd urge you, don't worry about the outcome. Don't try and think ahead. You know, Zentangle isn't really planned. I mean, the planning that I've done for this, and bear in mind I'm showing you on a video, is I'm going to do Tripoli, I'm going to use a white tile, and I'm going to use a black pen. I couldn't plan where all these triangles are going to end up. It just wouldn't be possible. Plus, it would cause me so much stress. And I don't want that. None of us want sort of stress, do we? So that one's going to be a funny shape. So I've got a little bit off-piece down here. That's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to do another one here. And I might just do another one here. And I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to leave it looking like this. So with Tripoli, you've now got all these triangular shaped containers, and we're going to put a filling into these containers. So you choose, you just zoom in a little bit, you choose one shape, one triangle, and we're going to do like a half C curve, backward C curve that way. I'm going to do another one that way, another one that way. And you end up with this little triangle in the middle, and in the middle of there you're going to pop an orb bumping right into the sides, and you can just dab a little bit of ink, and we're going to do that on each and every one of them. So a little half seed shape, pop an orb in the middle, and ink those in. And once you've done one, you know what you're going to do with all the others. So take your time, even though you know what you're going to be doing. Slow it down, really slow it down, and just enjoy doing these C curves on the insides of these shapes. And it starts to change what these look like. Okay, you will see me turning my tile, and that is really important. You turn your tile so that your hand stays in the same-ish position, and you're not overstretching, so your muscles relax into what you're doing, rather than reaching over, stretching over. Your piece of paper isn't stuck to your desk or your table. You can move it, and so make it easy on yourself. I'm doing another little turn because I'm going to do these ones here, and adding those C curves. And you can see by adding that little bit of solid ink around those orbs, gives it a little bit of strength and drama. Sometimes well, I say sometimes, but actually I mean always, you need to have some darker areas. It doesn't have to be many, but it just gives it more, I love the word strength, to what you're drawing, and it's not so wishy-washy and things. So I'm enjoying doing these curves. If you're following along, simply relax into it. Think about your breathing. Just relax your breathing. Be conscious of how your shoulders are. Have you hunched them up as you're drawing? Consciously drop them down. Feel the weight sinking down from your shoulders. Any tension relaxing. And just be in the moment of adding these simple lines. Pretty much everybody, whoever they are, can do these lines. If you can hold a pen in whatever way, pretty much you can do Zentangle. And always remember, it's not about the art at the end, it's about the process. And if you follow the process, the art will appear. And it doesn't have to be complicated. The joy is just allowing yourself to be. We spend so much time rushing around in our busy lives that we sometimes don't just stop and do something that's joyful for ourselves, that makes us feel good. And the Zentangle can fulfill that. Being creative actually fulfills a lot of, or gives a lot of satisfaction, and it's really important to our well-being. And you can be creative in very many different ways. Some of you might do needlecraft or music or cooking, or there's hundreds of different ways to be creative. So we're just going to quietly keep adding these, and can you feel how the pen feels in your hand? Can you feel the nib of the pen running over the paper? What does it feel like? Is it smooth? Or can you feel the paper surface? Paper slightly toothy as it has a surface, or is it smooth? How does the ink react when your pen touches the paper? Can you see the ink leave your pen, soak into the paper? It's all these things that if you focus on them, you really do become in the moment of what you're doing. And you can allow your mind to settle and to rest. And we don't have to take a long time becoming mindful. And pretty quickly access that mindful state. I'm just taking my time, but I'm hoping you can now see what is called a meta pattern appearing, and that is this sort of flower shapes that appear just by adding these lovely fillings. You're not drawing flowers, but your eye now sees a more floral image, and this happens a lot with what we call fragments. Small little bits of pattern that are fitted into a grid or a repetitive shapes, such as this, the triangular shapes of Tripoli. And depending on what tile, or what filling you put in there, you will get a different image. And I maybe will show you some in another video, some other variations. Today I just want you to relax and enjoy Tripoli in its simplicity, and the fact that it starts to look pretty amazing in a very, very short time. And so not even 15 minutes and we've already got this in place, and it looks amazing. And people quite often say, I don't have the time to do art or craft. The beauty of Zentangle is you don't have to spend ages. You don't need a lot of materials. You can do this pretty much anywhere, on your knee, in a waiting room. I've tangled on the top of a hill when I've been out hiking, I've tangled on a beach, on an aeroplane, on a train, and waiting rooms, hairdresser, so many different places where you're just sitting, and sometimes you just want to focus. Okay, we're getting up to doing the last one, and there it is. Okay, so I'm going to pop my pen to the side and we're going to do some shading. Shading will enhance this again. So your eyes can start not seeing the triangles now you've got these shapes. So I'll start off on these ones. So with the side of your pencil, which is sharpened, I want you to put a little bit of graphite just in the corners of those C shapes. Okay, and now we're going to just tease that towards the center, but not taking it all the way to the center. So you want to keep some white, so just a little bit of graphite here and here, just into those corners. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these 6, then I'm going to tortillon, blend them, and then we can have a look at what it looks like before I carry on and do the others. So where it is dark, it will appear a little bit deeper, further away. Your eyes perceive the dark to be further away. And you can see that I've kept a little bit of white. Let's go in here. A little bit of white just in those middle of those C shapes. Otherwise they'll just end up flat grey, and you don't want that. And so just very gently, helpful if you've got a tortillon that doesn't blend, doesn't move too far. So I'm going to move that out again. Okay, so now we're going to add a little bit more graphite on each of those corners. So again, very simple. We're not doing complicated shading. Keeping it really, really simple. And honestly, simple is where your joy is. If you focus on the simple, you will find that you develop a different skill set that you can adapt, and then maybe go on to doing something more, if I say complicated, then that is so possible. Absolutely so possible. But try and do these lovely, simple, focused tangles first of all. Become familiar with your pen, with the graphite, with the surface of the paper, becoming familiar with it, and creating something so very, very simple that looks gorgeous is so satisfying. And that's what we want, isn't it? We want it to be satisfying. Okay, so again, it's very, very simple. In these corners, I'm going to do it sort of working away, so I've done the graphite from the top working towards me, and that is because then I don't pop my hand and I don't smudge, I don't get graphite on my hand and smudge it all over the place. And has that happened for me? Oh yes, many times. I can. So, you know, just be aware of where you've popped down graphite so that you don't sort of spread it where you don't want it. And again, check in with your breathing, check in with your shoulders, check in with your jaw. Are you clenching your teeth? If so, just relax your jaw. Move your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Nobody's watching. Just take your time. Nice and focused. And you might be thinking, oh, it's very repetitive, but there's joy in that repetition. There's a satisfaction and a relaxation that comes from doing something repetitive. repetitive, but it has an outcome. You see things change in front of you, and that's got to be satisfying, hasn't it, when you see this image appear. You know, I still, after several years of teaching Zentangle, I find this just as satisfying as I did when I first did it, and I still do these sorts of tangles for myself very often. It's not all about moving on and doing anything more complicated. There's always that possibility, of course, and I'd encourage you to do that, but I'd also more strongly encourage you to play with some of the simple tangles, some of the ones that are your base and your strength. Okay, let's just soften that here, here. And I'm doing this real time. I'm not going to speed this video up on my YouTube channel. It will appear elsewhere. It's a little bit faster just to apply with time limits. But I like to share on here the real time. This is happening real time. I'm not going to make it faster or anything like that. So I think it's important that anybody new to tangling knows what sort of speed I tangle at in real time. So with this, it's probably a little bit faster because it's a very familiar tangle, and I feel comfortable with it. But I quite often do slow myself down consciously to say, okay, you know this, but let's just really think about this process. And that's where I feel comfortable. And that's where I learn lots of new things about how I can create things. Okay, so that is your Tripoli. And I want you to get your pen, and we're going to sign. So we're going to sign and own our artwork. So pop your initials on the front or chop. I put my chop, which is a Z and a J-O for Zenjo. Okay, and now you can sign and date the back of your tile, and now you can pick it up and have a look at it and say, well, I really enjoyed doing that. So thank you for joining me. Bye.